All right, all right. Well, today is Friday, July 18th. Thank God it's Friday. And we're going to talk about what is a cover letter and why you might consider using one in your job development process. So, a marketing cover letter. A marketing cover letter is basically a combination of the best elements from the cover letter and resume, and also a reference page with a few minor tweaks and differences. Okay, so it will have, for example, it'll have the best bullet points, the most relevant bullet points from the resume. It will have a statement of interest that you might get that pulled that from the cover letter, and then it will have endorsement statements by the references. Okay, and these are actually, don't let that throw up any red flags. It's actually a whole lot easier than you might think. You can get all of the endorsement statements that you want for a customer, for a client, within 2 to 3 days. Okay, and I will show you later how to do that. So that's it in a nutshell as far as what it is. So why would you consider using it for your customers when you go out for supported employment folks or even job placement folks and use that? Okay, well, it's something that you can leave behind with the employer. It's a constant reminder, whether they put it up on the bulletin board or they have it out on their desk or wherever they may have it. If you've made a good impression, chances are they're going to keep it because they don't know what's going to happen next week. They don't know if somebody's going to quit or get fired. So they will keep that. And I have had calls come in months later on a customer that I was doing some job development for, left a marketing cover letter, and they called me back. Hey, Brad, we still have that opening for dishwasher. Is this guy still available to go to work? Usually by that time I have placed them, okay, but you never know. And it's amazing the difference that it makes and how much easier, because back in the day when I first got started 8 years ago, I was petrified to go out and talk to business owners and HR types and recruiters. I would sit in the parking lot and I would talk to myself, or, I would listen to the radio, or I would pray or whatever. God, give me the courage to go in there, right? Because it ain't easy. And then, what do I say, and all of these things I kind of had to figure out along the way. One thing that kind of neutralizes the stress and the anxiety is having a marketing cover letter. Okay, it's like you're putting together a small army of advocates for people when you have all of those endorsement statements that are made by their references. These are testimonials about this individual, about how great they are in character and punctuality and how much of a team player and all of these things. And time again, you guys, I've seen managers, I've watched them. I'll pull this out, I'll show it to them, I'll start kind of going through a little bit. They'll take it from me and and they'll read it. They'll stand there in front of me until it gets awkward and they're reading it, and customers are all around or whatever, and they'll read it for 1 to 2 minutes. You'll see this happen, and they're interested. They're intrigued. Why? Because nobody else is doing it this way. Everybody and their dog uses a resume. Okay. Why? I mean, after a while, after millions and millions of resumes, they kind of lose their meaning, right? I mean, I'm not saying they're never necessary. They are. I mean, in today, 2025, there's still a place for resumes, but you don't have to have them necessarily unless you're working with somebody's job placement. You've got to turn one in to get credit for placement, right? You have to turn in a resume, right? But you can also turn in a marketing cover letter. Right? You can show the counselor that you're doing something unique, something that nobody else does. And I'm telling you, I just got a compliment from a counselor 2 days ago about the cover letter, the style of cover letter. Okay, oftentimes these cover letters will go more than one page. They might go into the second page. If they do, I try to do copy front and back so that it's just one page. And on the back of it, here's a thought, guys. What if your customer is capable enough of putting together a video introduction, or maybe it's something that you can help them with? Did you know that you can put together that video, okay, and have a QR code listed on the back of it? And this is like a pre-interview, right? They're getting a snapshot of all about this man or woman who's interested in the job, and they're getting a pre-interview, basically about this person. Now, if they present well enough, there are cases, certainly cases where that would not be beneficial, but a lot of times it is. Okay, and then you're almost there. You're over halfway there. You've made the introduction. You've gone in there and talked to the manager, the hiring manager, whoever it is. You've done your little spiel. It shouldn't take more than a couple of seconds, and then you start talking about the marketing cover letter, and then you ask, would you like for us to go ahead and put in an application? You know, and oftentimes if they like the cover letter, if you've made a good rapport, they'll say, sure, yeah. Okay, so these are little tips and tricks. I will be repeating myself in some of these videos, but I'm kind of excited and I want you to get this. Okay, so when you give them the cover letter and they invite you to apply, okay, that's really the first thing that you want. You're halfway there if you can get them to invite you to apply. When they say yes, okay, here's what you say. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take care of that right now. Would you like for us to call you when we submit the application? Okay, now here's why you ask that. You're assessing their level of interest. If they say yes to that question, the world stops. You get to a library, you get to Panera Bread, wherever there is Wi-Fi, you bang out that application, and then you call Joe, Bob, or Susie right then. Okay, hey Joe, just want to let you know, hey, by the way, it was great to meet you. Just want to let you know we got in that application for you. Here's another question. Would you like to set up a time to meet? Okay, you're asking for the interview, right? All of this is back, bam, bam. Why? Because there's a sense of urgency. You got a lead that's very hot. Okay, those leads cool off within 1 to 2 days. I mean, really. Okay, so you're trying to get in that door that's cracking open a little bit for you, and this is the way to get it done. Okay, so this is why we use a cover letter, because it gives such a great first impression of the customers we serve. Listen, when I imagine not using it, sometimes I'm thinking, man, it takes a little bit of time, but I will tell you this, it is worth spending a couple, 3 hours of concentrated time to put something like that together than it is to waste days and weeks going out there in unfruitful searches. Okay, I'm wanting to make a great first impression. I'm wanting to show, this is competition, right? We're competing with not only one another, but we're also competing with everybody else. Every able-bodied person out there who's interested in the job, we're competing, okay? So why would you not? Okay, because if you don't, you're going to be wasting so much time. But if you present something unique that captivates their attention, and they stand there in front of you and they read this marketing cover letter and they say, yeah, sure, why don't you go and put in an application? And sometimes even before you leave, they're talking about setting up the interview with you and whoever it is that you're representing. Okay, now, should you bring your customer with you? Yes and no. Okay, so if they present well, okay, if they have good grooming, okay, if they're not going to talk over you and interrupt, all of these things you kind of learn about during the process of the CPA or during the process of the plan. You're getting to know this individual, okay? If they present well, if they have good manners, if they have good etiquette, if they present, if they know what to wear and how to show, who they are, then great. If they don't, if they're just super quiet, if they never smile, if they're unkempt, then that may not be the time to introduce your customer to them. Again, we're wanting to put ourselves in the best possible, strongest position to get the interview. If we can get the interview, then there's a really good chance that we're going to get the job. Okay, hope you guys have a great day. Well, there's more to come. Bye-bye.